How would you describe the process for you guys? I mean, yes, Mr. Tempo's way, but is it like an exhausting process emotionally?
Beyond. I was just saying now that people are gonna laugh. If we ever had to have gotten divorced or had a huge fight, it would have been over IVF because it is that taxing on you as a woman, emotionally, physically, mentally, all the injections, all the stress and tax, the toll it takes on your body is just unreal.
How many injections do you have a day? Like, did you do them yourself?
So I didn't do them. My husband very, very nicely did them for me. But it's injections every single day for, was it a week, 2 weeks? Yeah. And then you have to go in there to make sure the eggs are growing. And, if it's not growing enough, then they give you extra medications. I had to take extra. And, once the eggs are at a certain size, then they give you another injection to trigger the release of the eggs. And it's just, the medication was just unbelievable. And then, before you start IVF, so you have the same thing, they literally put you into a menopausal state. So your body shuts down, literally shuts down. And then they give you medication to restart your body so that your period comes back, your body is normal, and then you can go ahead and
their side effects
beyond.
Sure. So couples then have to be ready for something like that. Like, you don't just get into it.
No. Well, we did. We literally just jumped in. But that's me. We thought, well, IVF's the next step. We didn't realize the implications of it. So we both just jumped in and did what we had to do. And the second IVF was more taxing on me because it was considered a failed IVF. So the meds didn't work. And we had to cancel it. And then I felt pregnant afterwards. Like literally 2 days later after we stopped. No way. So that's why my boys are miracles.
And for you guys, Brian, like the emotional strain, like what some of the challenges you guys face in the journey?
It's quite an emotional roller coaster, especially on my wife, the women, when they go through family occasions, they ask questions when they go baby showers. It's quite a painful thing. With us men, we sort of like can handle it in a way. It's not as tough because men hardly ever talk about these things. Yeah, your boys will ask you here and there, but it's not like it's a serious thing where you end up being emotional and all that. I think on women it's the toughest because they see their friends getting pregnant, they have to organize baby showers and the like.
So, how did you take the injections? How was that for you?
It was
the process was then such.
So for me, the injections was the hardest part because number one, I don't like injections. Like if I go to the doctor, I avoid injections at all costs. So I tried a lot of remedies. I actually googled, believe it or not, how to make the injection better. And then
we always go to doctor.
Then they'll tell you take ice, put it in your stomach, make it a bit numb, and then you inject. And then I'll play some soothing spa music or gospel music so that I'm in another state of mind. Then inject myself. And I didn't trust my husband to do the injections.
I'm a bit wrong.
So it was not going to work out. So that's what I went through.
I can't imagine injections every single day.
And they're not small. It looks like I don't know about you, but mine looks like a big. So
I'm getting goosebumps just listening to that. So how Like, did you ever like consider that? Okay, was adoption ever a consideration, or did you guys go, no, we actually want to go this way?
We did, but my husband and I always thought, we wanted our own kids. Adoption was the last resort, but adoption here is not an easy task. It's beyond. So we thought, well, if we can't have our own, then we were quite happy to carry on and just be with each other and be married and do what we had to do. And it wasn't off the cards, but it was an absolute last resort for us.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what friends and families also said when you were telling them you're doing IVF. I know some of our families, I mean, these things are taboo. Like, what do you mean? It's almost like they think you're saying you're engineering babies. Like, that's how some people look at it. How did you guys navigate that? Like, did you have to explain it to like family and friends how this was done, or you just chose to, we're not going to share this with anybody, we're just going to have the kids?
So we didn't really share. It was just our parents knew and our siblings. And then they didn't judge us because they were support structure.
Yeah.
Our parents was not done. I think when they were growing up, we just had to explain how the process works. Funny enough, the question I only find it now when people ask, when you encourage them IVF, but say no, but you're playing God, that type of thing. They don't really understand how it works because even the fertility doctor will tell you after they've done everything, because they try and mimic your natural menstrual cycle. And then when you ovulate, then they'll put like your embryo, which is your sperm and your egg that are fertilized. Then from there they tell you, doesn't pan out, but from here it's only God who can apply. So I think when people change that perception and start understanding better, then it makes more sense.
Yeah, that's nice. And Mali, for you, did you have to explain? Did they get it? Like those close to you?
So we really only told my father-in-law and my dad. We didn't tell the mothers. No, it's just moms react very differently. And also I'm not one to have the shame, you have to do this. I don't do that. So our fathers were very, very supportive, and they were the only ones. And I think my sister was the only other one who actually knew. Other than that, it was just, like I say, we went, we did, and that was it. It's not something, and maybe it's wrong, it's not something that we broadcast. But I agree with you, like it needs to be spoken about and made non-taboo, because people need to know that they're not the only one in the situation.
Absolutely.
Every second or third person is going through it. So it's important.
And awareness is so important. I got shocked one day when I was at a dinner table and we were having a chat, and I was sharing these friends of mine that a business partner I have was actually gone through IVF, and someone on the table said, "Oh, is he normal?"
Oh my word.
What do you mean? Like is he like a normal like us? So I was like, what do you mean? For me, that's just not.
It's ignorant.
People need to be taught whether you are ignorant or you're not reading. Maybe there is also an opportunity for greater awareness here to teach people about IVF. 011-883-0702. It's 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. I want to take your calls and WhatsApps after this. Now across the desk feature this morning, I'm hosting people who have had successful IVF journeys and just want to understand what the journey was like. But I also want to hear from you. Maybe you've got questions, you're considering it, and you want to know what do I need to prepare for. Give us a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702.
Cross the desk with Clemens Manyatela on 702.
25 minutes after 10 o'clock, I'm hosting people who have had successful IVF journeys on the Across the Desk feature this morning. And I know there are some of you that may be considering doing it, you've got some questions, or you've done it and it hasn't been successful. How has that journey been like for you? Or you've done it and it has been successful. Was it successful at the first attempt after a couple of times? Please share your stories with us. We're taking your calls on 011 883 0702 or WhatsApp on 072 702 1702.
Hey, guest, can I just ask you, how much does it cost? Yeah, and is there any facilities that your guests can recommend? Thanks. Right.
Good morning, Clement. I wish to ask the guests there, how do they navigate silent bereavement that they surely have been through, particularly with failed IVF and trials that they had? How did they navigate the pressures that goes with in-laws, families asking them, when are you having a baby? When are you having a baby? Because I find that many people go through so much pain silently when it comes to infertility. And I do offer counseling to people who need that. And I'm just quite interested, have they been through counseling and how do they navigate this particular area of grieving the loss of finance, the loss of failed attempts? How do they go about it? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Let's start with you, Molly.
Sure.
There was a question about cost, if there is a recommendation of, if you have any, and the navigating also that, yeah.
So I would suggest Dr. Volshank, who has now moved to Pretoria East. But VitaLab is just as absolutely incredible. Any of the doctors there are phenomenal. Just Dr. Volshank got me my two boys, so I'm very grateful for that. And navigating the loss, that's a good question. So after our failed IVF, I was devastated. It took a while to, I suppose, get myself together and be there for my husband and my child, because you can't sit and cry all the time. But you process it, I suppose, as you feel the emotions come. You can't. There's no right way to deal with it. Some people go into depressions and grieve like had a death or whatever, but it depends on you as a person. The costs, I'm not sure. Ours was about 150 or 180,000 for our last IVF. But you can always email them quotes and payment plan or whatever they can offer you, so you don't have to potentially lay it all out up front. I don't know if Pretoria East does that. I think VitaLab does that.
And for you guys?
I would definitely recommend Pretoria Fertility Clinic. Dr. Volshank also works there, but we've worked closely with Dr. Grow. So they are quite reasonable actually. So this year I asked them, the cost is about plus minus 70,000. So how I got to know this is they've partnered with us. We've got an NGO that we work with them to raise awareness. So then they give me the figures. So everything that comes through City and then we refer them to them. And then we've also partnered in terms of mental health, how we're coping with clinical psychologist Taban Clark. He gives discounts for people who come through us.